Before we begin, this is Data and Dissonance, which means what you are about to hear may include opinions, sarcasm, uncomfortable truths, political commentary, cultural frustration, personal reflection, and the occasional verbal side-eye aimed directly at the people who keep insisting everything is fine, while the rest of us are checking our bank accounts like we're defusing a bomb. This show is not corporate approved, sponsor polished, focus group tested, or filtered through a committee of emotionally fragile interns holding clipboards and oat milk. The views expressed here belong to the host, the panel when they appear, and whatever part of your brain still remembers how to question things without asking CNN, TikTok, or some blue-haired activist with a ring light for permission. Listen with discernment, think for yourself, and remember, offense is not an emergency. It's just your worldview doing cardio.
All right, welcome back to Data and Dissonance. Yeah, it's been a few weeks. And normally, when a show disappears for a little bit, people come back with some dramatic excuse like, we've been working behind the scenes, or big things are coming, or we had to step away to rebrand, which usually means somebody lost the password, the laptop died, or the host had an emotional fistfight with his own bank account. In my case, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm broke. That's it. No mystery. No polished PR statement. No fake influencer season of transition nonsense. I am broke. The show costs money. The merch store costs money. The tools cost money. The production takes time. And after doing this out of pocket with no sponsors, no big backing, and no magic pile of cash hiding under the couch cushions, I had to stop and ask a real question. How do I keep this thing alive without letting it bury me? And that is why today matters. Because this episode is not me coming back pretending everything is perfect. This is me coming back with a different plan. Monday through Thursday, Data and Dissonance is going lean. 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most. Just me, one topic, one message, no giant production, no daily full crew, no pretending I have a staff in a glass office somewhere wearing headsets and saying things like, Artie, we're live in 5. It's me. It's the mic. It's the truth. Rachel will still kick us off with the warning because, let's be honest, she does it better than I do and sounds way less like a guy arguing with a lawnmower. And on Fridays, we'll bring the crew back. Brian, Rachel, Daniel, Skylar, the whole circus. But Monday through Thursday, it's going to be leaner, sharper, more personal, and maybe more honest than it's ever been. So today's episode is called Broke, Not Broken, because that's where I am. That's where a lot of people are. Broke doesn't mean done. Broke doesn't mean dead. Broke doesn't mean defeated. Broke means you have to strip things down to what actually matters. And for this show, what matters is simple. Speaking truth, stirring thought, and not letting silence win just because money got tight. Here's the part nobody likes to admit when they're trying to build something. Sometimes passion is expensive. Everybody tells you to chase the dream, build the brand, start the podcast, write the book, make the music, launch the merch. Put yourself out there, keep grinding, keep showing up, keep posting, keep believing. And that all sounds great when someone says it on a motivational video over piano music and slow motion footage of somebody running up a mountain. But in real life, chasing a dream also means subscriptions, software, hosting, equipment, artwork, websites, editing time, marketing, failed ads, merch platforms, distribution fees, and 1,000 tiny costs that don't care how much you believe in yourself. The dream sends invoices. That's the part they leave out. And I've been doing this show for a while now, trying to make it something real. Not because I thought I was going to become Joe Rogan overnight, not because I thought sponsors were going to kick down the door with bags of cash, and not because I thought the internet was going to suddenly reward common sense like it discovered a rare mineral. I did it because I believed there was room for a show that talked like real people talk. A show where politics, culture, news, comedy, frustration, and common sense could all sit at the same table. A show that didn't sound like every other polished, dead-eyed media product where everybody is afraid to say what they actually think. That was the whole point of Data and Dissonance. Take the information, take the noise, take the contradictions, and try to make sense of it without losing your mind. But the truth is, when there are no sponsors, everything comes out of pocket. And when everything comes out of pocket, eventually the pocket looks back at you and says, "Buddy, I don't know what you think is in here, but it ain't NBC money." And that's where I hit the wall. The merch store had to close for now because I couldn't keep funding it. The show slowed down because I couldn't keep pouring money, time, and energy into a machine that wasn't paying for itself. And I know some people would say, well, if it didn't take off, maybe that means it failed. But I don't think that's the full truth. I think sometimes things don't fail. Sometimes they're just too heavy in the form you built them in. That's what this reset is about. I'm not killing the show. I'm taking weight off the show so it can keep moving. There's a difference. Monday through Thursday doesn't need to be a giant production every day. It doesn't need 4 panelists, 3 transitions, a massive script, merch drops, full-blown debates, and me sitting here trying to build a 20-minute episode like I'm producing cable news out of a spare room with a coffee mug and existential dread. It can be 10 minutes. It can be direct. It can be me saying, here's what happened. Here's what I think. Here's why it matters. Here's what nobody is saying. Now go live your life and don't let the lunatics program your brain before dinner. Honestly, that may even be better. Because not everybody has time for a full production every day. People are driving to work, driving home, eating lunch, sitting in the parking lot before a shift, trying to decompress before walking back into a house full of bills, dogs, kids, stress, and whatever new disaster the news decided to throw at them. Maybe a shorter show is exactly what this needs to be during the week. 10 minutes of truth, 10 minutes of sanity, 10 minutes where somebody says what regular people are thinking, but don't always hear said out loud. And I know I'm not the only one feeling broke right now. That's the other part of this. This episode isn't just about the show. It's about the country. It's about the mood. It's about the fact that millions of people are walking around pretending they're fine while doing mental math every time they buy groceries. People are working more, making less, falling behind, starting over, borrowing from tomorrow just to survive today, and then they turn on the TV and get lectured by rich people about how strong the economy is, how great everything is, how they should be more grateful, more quiet, more compliant, and maybe stop noticing that basic life feels like a subscription service with overdraft fees. There is something deeply insulting about being told things are fine by people who never have to choose what bill gets paid first. There is something maddening about watching politicians, celebrities, media personalities, and professional outrage merchants act like America's biggest problem is pronouns, social media narratives, or whatever nonsense is trending for 12 minutes, while regular people are out here trying to keep the lights on. And I'm not saying money is the only thing that matters. It's not. But when you don't have it, it touches everything. It touches your confidence. It touches your relationships. It touches your creativity. It touches your sleep. It touches your faith. It touches the way you look in the mirror. It makes you question whether everything you tried to build was stupid, whether you wasted your time, whether the people who doubted you were right. And that's the dangerous part. Not being broke. Believing broke means broken, because those are not the same thing. Broke is a condition. Broken is a surrender. Broke means the account is low. Broken means the spirit is gone. Broke means you have to adjust. Broken means you stop trying. And I'm not ready to stop trying. I may be tired. I may be frustrated. I may be disappointed that the sponsors never came. The merch didn't take off. The books didn't explode. The music didn't suddenly crack the algorithm. And the show didn't become some runaway success story after all the work that went into it. But I'm still here. And if you're listening to this while feeling like you've been kicked around by life too, then maybe you need to hear this part. Being tired is not the same thing as being done. So this is the new deal. Monday through Thursday, Data and Dissonance is going to be stripped down. One topic, one voice, 10 to 15 minutes. No fluff, no fake hype, no pretending we're bigger than we are. Fridays, we bring back the full crew and let the chaos breathe a little. Brian can light the room on fire. Daniel can connect strings on the conspiracy board until the wall looks like a yarn factory exploded. Rachel can keep everybody grounded. Skylar can challenge the room from the left and remind us not every problem can be solved by yelling freedom into a gas station hot dog warmer. And I'll sit in the middle, trying to keep the whole thing from turning into Thanksgiving dinner with microphones. But during the week, it's going to be me talking directly to you. And I think that matters, because maybe the best thing I can do right now is stop pretending the struggle isn't part of the show. Maybe the struggle is the show. Maybe Data and Dissonance doesn't need to hide the fact that it's being held together by stubbornness, caffeine, cheap equipment, and a host who refuses to shut up. Maybe that's exactly why it should exist. Because the corporate media has money. The political machines have money. The influencers have sponsors, managers, editors, lighting teams, and ring lights so bright they could guide aircraft. But regular people? We've got grit. We've got opinions. We've got lived experience. And sometimes we've got just enough gas in the tank to hit record one more time. That's what today is. It's one more time. It's the comeback without the confetti. It's the reset without the fake smile. It's me saying the show got knocked down financially, but it didn't die. And maybe that's the message for more than just this podcast. Maybe that's the message for anybody out there who feels like life has been taking swings at them and the scoreboard doesn't reflect the work they've put in. You are allowed to adjust. You are allowed to scale back. You are allowed to simplify. You are allowed to say, I can't do it the old way anymore, so I'm going to find a new way. That is not failure. That is survival. And sometimes survival is the first draft of a comeback. Normally, this is where we'd do the merch drop. Rachel would come in smooth, the store would be open, and we'd talk about the mugs, the shirts, the hats, the coffee, the whole Data and Dissonance lineup. But I'm going to be honest with you. The merch shop is temporarily closed because I can't fund it right now. That's the truth. No sponsor money, no big backing, no safety net. So for now, the best way to support the show is simple, and it doesn't cost a dime. Follow the podcast. Share an episode. Leave a review. Send it to one person who still has a working brain and a sense of humor. Post about it. Comment on it. Help keep the signal moving. Because right now, this show doesn't need some fake corporate polish. It needs people who believe independent voices still matter. I didn't want to come back with some fake version of success. I didn't want to sit here and pretend everything was growing, booming, expanding, and thriving, when the truth is, the last few weeks have been hard. But maybe that's why this episode needed to happen. Because too much of what we see online is fake momentum, fake confidence, fake luxury, fake wins. Everybody is crushing it. Everybody is booked and busy. Everybody is building an empire. And meanwhile, half the country is quietly wondering how they're going to make it to the next paycheck without something falling apart. So no, I'm not going to fake it. I'm broke. The show got too expensive. The merch had to pause. The format had to change. And I'm still here. That's the part I want to hold on to. Still here. There's power in that. Not flashy power, not Instagram power. Real power. The kind that says you got embarrassed, you got humbled, you got tired, you got knocked down, and you still found a way to stand back up without pretending the fall didn't hurt. That's where a lot of people are right now. Not just me. A lot of people are rebuilding quieter than they expected. A lot of people are starting over with less than they hoped. A lot of people are trying to keep their marriage strong, keep their family together, keep the bills paid, keep their faith alive, and keep some piece of themselves from disappearing under the weight of disappointment. So if this new version of the show is smaller, maybe that's okay. Smaller can be sharper. Smaller can be more honest. Smaller can be sustainable. And if I've learned anything from getting kicked around by life, it's that the version of you that survives the hard part usually tells the truth better than the version that was trying to impress everybody. That's what Data and Dissonance is going to be now. Less performance, more signal. Less production pressure, more real talk. Monday through Thursday, short and direct. Friday, full crew and full fire. We're not dead. We're not done. We're just done pretending we can carry unnecessary weight. So to everybody who still listens, everybody who has shared the show, everybody who has believed in it, even when the numbers didn't look impressive, thank you. Seriously. I know this isn't some massive platform. I know we're not sitting on millions of downloads. But if even one person hears this and thinks, yeah, I needed that today, then this episode mattered. And if one person who feels broke, tired, or defeated remembers that they are not broken, then this show still has a reason to exist. This is Data and Dissonance. I'm Artie. We're back, just leaner. And as always, remember to speak truth, stir thought.
This episode of Data and Dissonance is brought to you by the creative world of Artie Roy, the Caleb Rourke thriller series. The music, the stories, and the independent work behind this show. If you want to support the mission while the merch shop is temporarily closed, check out the books, stream the music, follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and share the show with someone who still believes independent voices matter. The links are in the episode description. No corporate machine, no polished network script, just one creator trying to keep the signal alive. This has been Data and Dissonance. Speak truth, stir thought,